I really appreciate everyone watching. We're looking for certain types of developers. If you're a developer, we have a lot of interest and openings in the developer side. But if you're not a developer, there's not too many openings available. And you have to live in New York. And I don't think I'm going to relocate anybody. So if you don't live in New York, just leave it alone. Sound like you're already a buy-sider, Anonymous. Wow, cool, Simon. Love to hear that. We want full stack guys. I don't know that we have too many AI agents on the team. We're not a heavy AI shop, although we all use the tools everybody uses. Our guys tell me that, they're mostly using them for ideas, not wholesale code changes and repo-wide changes. Like, still a little not quite there yet for that. We're not hiring too junior. I mean, we'd consider the right person. No, we pay a lot of equity. We pay a lot of equity. That's the bonus of working with me. I go ham on equity. I don't give a fuck. I want my guys getting rich. I'm building $1 billion company. I want you to have a couple percent at least, bare minimum. And guess what? My last company's worth $2 billion. So I'd like to go for at least 5 this time around. At least. Big money. Brah. Brah, pa, pa, pa. And I also pay for performance. So if you come here and you kick ass, I'll give you stock just out of my pocket, bro. Right there. You stock right out of my pocket. I don't know about 500, but some amount. You stock right out of my pocket. I don't give a fuck. Board doesn't want me to give you stock. And that's when I mush the old person on the board. You know what mush means? Mush is when you take your thumbs. This is a hood term from Brooklyn. Mush is when you take your thumb and you shove their temple. Like that. It's very intimidating. It's before you start the slap or the punch. It's a mush. So, board of directors says, no, we can't give this guy a stock grant. So what the fuck you say? Mush him and say, you better, better pretend you never said that. Never said that. Exactly, Oliver. Oliver knows what time it is. Fucking tell me I can't pay my neighbors. Get out of here. What you talking about? Can't pay my own dudes. Old ass board member like, I don't know, I don't like this. This guy's getting 25 million. I'm only getting 60 grand of board fees. I don't like this, Shkreli. Yeah, it's because you're 200 years old. Now shut the fuck up and sign the document. You're washed up, Gramps. This kid's 19, Shkreli. How are we going to give him 3% of the company? Make me do something to you, Grandpa. But I only have 10 basis points, Martin. And I will kick you down the stairs if you don't sign this fucking document. 72-year-old motherfucker. Oh, my hemorrhoids. Man, you worked at Deutsche Bank 35 years ago. Shut the fuck up. It's mostly just Bloomberg. Nobody wants to make a terminal anymore. Oh yeah. Robin, more than that. Way more than that. Listen, if you're going to work with me and you're going to work 24/7, you better get some real equity. You better go to war with me. You want to go to war with me? We're going to do it. We're going to take over. We're going to have every hedge fund in New York, every asset manager in the world using our software. But I know you're not going to do that for free. I know you're not going to give up some of your very important time with your family, with your loved ones for nothing. And I can't compete on salary. You know, I can pay you, but I can't pay you what OpenAI or Google might pay you. You know, so I got to pay you in equity. And I'm still going to be good no matter what. Because guess what? In pharma, we got to raise $100 million every year. Every year, 100 mil. So for me, the fact that we're almost profitable right now. So equity, that's easy. In pharma, I would give you 1% of the company. It would be diluted to 10 basis points by the time you leave. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Listen, I can't match Jane Street, but Jane Street ain't giving you a cent of equity. And no shade to Jane Street. I'm friends with all those dudes, including the founders. But don't act like they're going to give you a slug of equity, because there's no fucking equity to give. They don't give anybody equity. They give equity to the guys that started the place. That's it. You ain't getting shit. So yes, we pay. Listen, I mean, I know what it takes to succeed. I've done it before. That's why you know my name. I built billion-dollar companies. I know how it is. And it doesn't come because people aren't motivated or excited. You know, there's one thing that's going to motivate somebody and keep them working Saturday and Sunday. They own 4% of the company. They own 2% of the company. They own 1 basis point of the company. Why the fuck would they work? I wouldn't. Shit. Would you? You might clock in, but are you going to work overtime? Or are you going to... Who needs equity on 300K starting salary, Anthony? Well, let me tell you who does. Someone who wants to get rich. Not somebody who wants to have a high level of fucking income, you know, work-life balance. I'm talking about somebody who wants to be, I want to make 30 million. I want to make 50 million. Someone who wants to make real money. You know, 300K, yeah, you can make more money than your friends. You might impress some girl, but you ain't buying no baseball team anytime soon. And yes, that's a bunch of people who work here who want to learn how to build a business. Whether or not you're actually learning that from me, yes. Some days I feel. Actually, I'm probably a better entrepreneur. I've said this many times. I'm a much better entrepreneur than trader, but I'm also a very good investor. Trading is something that's hard for most people. It's not easy. Even the best traders get washed up pretty fast because the eras change, and what worked in one era changes quickly. I think I'll bring the company public. I mean, I probably will pass the torch to a less controversial CEO at some point. Not soon. But once we get to like a couple hundred people, maybe 500 people, you know, I could do something else. I don't have to be, you know, the big boss. I can get somebody like Keith. Well, there's always efficient markets hypothesis sort of with Anthony, right? Sort of with startups. You know, just as 98% of stocks are fairly valued, right? And you got to dig for those 2% that are misvalued. And when you find them and they're misvalued, they might be like quantum and give you a real pain in the ass anyway. You know, so the ones you find that are misvalued, they're misvalued, but they're going nuts. And closing the valuation gap is not going to be easy. Same thing with startups. Most startups will fail, 99%. And the 1% that won't fail, well, guess what? OpenAI is not going to fail. Anthropic's not going to fail, but it's a line a mile long to work at the company. People will give their left nutsack to work at the company, or their left nut. Or you can find a startup that's a weird special situation like me. I'm fucking crazy. You want to come work here? You better be crazy too. I might go to your apartment and say, where's Charles? Say your name is Charles. And your girlfriend screams, ah! I'm like, where's Charles? She's like, who are you? Don't worry about that. I'm Charles's boyfriend. Shut up. Charles, where you at? What do you want, Martin? What the fuck? Why are you at my house? Charles, the sight's down. What? I said, the sight's down. Wake up. You want that? Is this what you want? Is this what you want? No, I don't care about Ivy. Damn, Martin, chill, man. Go away. No, you chill. Get your ass up. Not a game, man. We do need an IT guy at some point. The mush is like the highest sign of disrespect without getting violent. Yeah, we got a couple interns starting next week or Monday. Yeah, I think. It's hard. Yeah, of course it's hard. It's really hard. I think that entrepreneurship really only works well when you're like a really big domain expert in your field. And even then it's hard. I studied biotech my whole life to try to figure out what to do in biotech. And, it was still hard for me to navigate political landscape. Like I said, I'm making a joke about the an old board of directors, but that's a real thing. I had this old ass board of idiotic people that they thought they had a lot of experience in biotech and in other firms, but they were like B players anyway, and they were kind of like free trial. Fucking Adobe. And they were like, kind of be players because we were a small company. We couldn't get the best board. And even still, I'm not even sure that would have helped. But, it's not easy when you have a really successful company. The board of directors they'll kind of get jealous. And especially if you talk to them a certain way. Gabriel, you got to know the investors. Yeah, we are doing something like that, Mr. Pep. Mr. Pep. I don't know if there's much Lisp going on in financials, but I'm not sure. A lot of people are moving to Rust, I hear.